and insulation.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankoffrankewing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there you go. We're back. We're live. We're brand new. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you until 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning. Thursday morning that sees us getting started thanks to our good friends at Talent Heating and Air. Remember, let their talent do the work for you. 256-503-4490. 256-503-4490. Give them a call. Find them online at talenthvac.com. They've got over 40 years of experience. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy, give them a call. They can help you. The weather right now is up and down, up and down. You may need the heat. You may need the air. One may not be working. One may be working. Give them a call. Your high today is 75 degrees on what is another fantastic day in the Tennessee Valley. 256-576-4977 is the number to the phone lines. You can be with us. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed on this Thursday. A Thursday that is rather impressive in the sports world when you start to think about it. You have Major League Baseball opening day, 14 games on the diamond. You've got the Sweet 16 starting tonight, 4 games on the hardwood. And if you combine the not basketball association anymore and the NHL together, you have 18 games combined there. So that is what you have on this Thursday. And we start with the Sweet 16. Of course, 97.7 ESPN The Zone will have the first game of the night for you right out of the gates. 6:09, second seed Alabama, 6th seed BYU, Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey. By the way, 5:09 or 5 o'clock, we'll just say 5 o'clock pregame coverage from the Alabama Crimson Tide Sports Network, but we'll have the game for you. A big one there as Alabama looks to get back to the Elite Eight for the second straight year. One of the challenges tonight against BYU will be BYU guard Richie Saunders. So you might ask, get used to that name because you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it quite a bit tonight on CBS. If you watch it on TV, you'll hear it on CBS. Richie Saunders is a fantastic guard. He's had a fantastic tournament so far. So who's going to get that challenge of guarding Richie Saunders? That's going to be LeBaron Philon. Here's Philon on guarding their best player.
I like it because, before every shoot around or like game plan we have, whoever the best player is, I'm probably going to start on them. And I don't take it as anything. I just take it as another game, but it's definitely an opportunity for me to showcase my, defense and my defensive skills and tactics. But I would say, yeah, every time, something happens or, we about to get ready to play a game, they'll be like, yeah, Banner, you guarding him. Or, in the walkthrough, they'll be like, Banner, you got him. And I'll just be like, yeah, I'm ready. But some people call me for it. I would say Coach Murphy does the most because, he'd be like, Banner, you ready? You ready? I'm like, yeah. But
question is the rest of the Crimson Tide going to be ready?
Yeah, I mean, this is the number one offensive team in the country since early to mid part of February. They've played at a very high clip. Richie Saunders, Igor Dimon, who's basically a 6'8", 6'9" point guard, are their two leading players or two leading scorers. They both average in double figures. Saunders is about 16 a clip, and Dimon's close to 11. But then they've got a balanced score sheet. They've got 7 other guys that average between 6 and 9 points per game that are all capable of going for double figures. And, their metrics, they aren't a really good defensive team, but Alabama at times has struggled on that end of the floor. So this could end up being a very high-scoring game. But I still think if Alabama plays with physicality and urgency and does a good job of guarding, which at St. Mary's was a slower prep as far as the slower tempo, and they were able to guard a bigger team in St. Mary's. But if they'll guard these guys and get physical with them, I still think Alabama has more weapons and more talent. But certainly Kevin Young's done a remarkable job in year one coming over from the Phoenix Suns for BYU. I mean, they've pretty much transformed themselves. I mean, and let's not get it twisted. I mean, they were a good offensive team under Mark Pope too. This has always kind of been an offensive program. So Alabama's got to get ready to guard. And I think, to me, the 3 keys for Alabama, as always for Alabama, they got to take care of the ball. And they've done a better job of that in the last month, even though the first half was a little iffy against St. Mary's. But they've got, because I think they had 8 of their turnovers then, but they've got to take care of the basketball. And they have to rebound, definitely, because a team this talented offensively, you can't lose the battle on the glass. You can't give them second and third shots. And then I think, honestly, it's, guarding and then making BYU earn it, guard the 3-point line because they've got guys that can stroke it. Don't give them wide open looks. And I think Alabama can win the game. I've got Alabama 95-84, but I think it's going to be a track meet.
Nate Oates was asked yesterday about defense, and he was asked specifically about last season going into the tournament. His team defensively was not great, and that was basically the challenge to the team. Got to play better if we're going to make a run. He was asked yesterday about whether or not and how he feels about his defense going into this BYU game and specifically this tournament, if it's good enough to get them back to the Final Four.
I'd appreciate it if you guys put a lot more talk out there about our defense isn't good enough to win this game so that we could show our guys that nobody believes in them like last year. So, yeah, I mean, our defense wasn't any good last year. I think we weren't even in the top 100 on defense. So it was pretty easy to show our guys that our defense isn't good enough. We struggled there at the end of the year. They finally got the guys to wake up after we lost the first round of the SEC tournament. They lost, at the end of the regular season. I think this year our defense is significantly better. It's still not where we'd like it to be. And it's going to have to get significantly better to make another Final Four run, because the next 2 teams we play, if we're fortunate to even have a second game, BYU's got the number 1 offense in the country, I think, since February 12th or something like that. And then Duke and Arizona are 2 of the best offenses in the country as well. So you've got 4 of the better offenses in the country. I think all 4 of us are top 25 in the country in scoring, and look at efficiency metrics and stuff. You got 4 really good offenses in this region. So for those people that like watching good offensive basketball, you got 4 good teams here. I think a lot of who's going to come out of here is going to be who plays the best defense. And, some of these other teams have had better defensive, stretches than maybe we've had. I think we've got to get our guys' attention, which we have, and we're capable of being a great defensive team. And that's what we're going to have to do over these, next couple of days if we're going to get out of this 14 bracket here.
There you go. NATO's talking about the defense and what potentially could lie ahead if good enough to get through BYU.
Well, I mean, all four of these teams that have made it to this pod, this regional in Newark, New Jersey, are really good offensively. Duke is the number one team in the country. A lot of people, well, Auburn was, but after the first two weekends, pretty much Duke has been anointed the favorite and the number one team in America. Even though in the last vote it was Auburn, and Auburn was the number one overall seed, but just the favorite from the people that you listen to.
Because of the way they were playing coming in.
Right. And again, they played, Mount St. Mary's and Baylor. I don't think they've played a great team yet in the NCAA tournament, but they eviscerated both of them. So that's the reason people are picking Duke, and they're playing very well. But Arizona, Tommy Lloyd, his mentor was Mark Few. They're a very offensive-oriented team and very talented, and they beat a good Oregon team in the round of 32. So, and they've already played Duke. There's some history. Duke beat them in Tucson on the road. So, but those are two very good offensive teams. BYU, very good offensive team. Alabama. So all four of these teams can score. So it's probably going to be the team that does the little things, the blocking out, the rebounding, forcing turnovers, live ball stuff, being able to, rebound the basketball, keep second and third shots to a minimum, make free throws. All the little things are probably going to come into play for who comes out of this regional to get to San Antonio. So it's going to be really interesting. I think Alabama, last I saw, was a 5.5 to 6.5 point favorite.
Sitting at a 5.5 with your over under at 175 and a half.
That's not surprised. I'm not surprised by that. Like I say, I've got it being very high scoring. Alabama's watermark to me. It was 85 in round one, 80 in round two. I think it's 95 tonight. If they can get to 95 points, I got to feel like that they can beat BYU, because if they give up 100 to BYU, it means they didn't guard a lamppost. So hopefully they can hold BYU. I have BYU scoring slightly above their average, which is, I think, 81. Got them scoring 84. If Alabama can hold them in the low 80s, I think the Tide can win the game.
So you would have, if you have, then so you're thinking under possibly of the 175.
Yeah, that's quite
close.
A bit, but but I think it's accurate. Yeah. But I mean, I've got it pretty much right on there. But I think Alabama is the better team.
It's by far. Now, Coach Oates mentioned the fact that Arizona and Duke, good offensive teams as well in this region. But the Alabama BYU game, by far, if you look at the total, the projected points total, it is by far the biggest night offensively for any of the other three games. For the Duke-Arizona game, the over-under is 154.5.
Yeah.
For the Maryland-Florida game, it's 157.5. And for the Arkansas-Texas Tech game, Vegas must think this thing is going to be an old-fashioned slobber knocker.
Yeah.
Because your over-under is 148.5.
Yeah, low 70s is what they're thinking.
Yeah.
With that game. And I just think that, I was watching one of my favorite podcasts last night, which is Goodman and Hummel. And Robbie Hummel, to me, is one of the best young broadcasters in the sport. If you listen to him, I think he's the next Jay Billis. And I think he's that good. But I just think overall, when you listen to them, they previewed this game last, BYU Alabama, because they said it was going to be even though it's going to be played first tonight. They said this is going to be a track meet. This is going to be fun. It's going to be up and down. But again, Alabama has to lock in. They've got to try to turn BYU over, and they've got to guard them, because if they just try to outscore BYU, I think it's not going to be a problem. I mean, even though Alabama averages 91, BYU averages 81. But if you let BYU get in that kind of rhythm, in other words, what I saw against Missouri, they gave up 110 to Missouri, and they lost 110 to 98 because they didn't lock in. They didn't guard anybody. You've got to guard. You've got to guard somewhat. You've got to make BYU expend energy on the defensive end too.
Right.
But you've got to do your job on defense, make it somewhat hard for them to score. And I think Alabama's bigger and got more talent. So we'll see. But certainly I give Kevin Young and BYU a lot of credit for what they've done and in the Big 12 and what they did the first couple of rounds, because I quite frankly didn't even have them coming out of there. I had VCU, who, they need a new coach. Ryan Odom, of course, Dave Odom's son, has gone to Virginia.
Yes. Still Virginia. The moves in college basketball keep moving.
Richard Pitino, 6-year deal to Xavier.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Ali Farouk-Manesh is the new coach.
State. Ali Farouk-Manesh. We were talking about this on the drive last night.
He is an Iowa City West grad.
Yeah.
He went to oh my goodness. He played 2 junior college stops, Indian Hills, I believe, and then Hills. Kirkwood Community College. Go Eagles. And then he made his way to Northern Iowa.
And ruined my bracket.
And he is a pure Iowan.
Yeah.
But they project, they say that it was a no-brainer for him to get the Colorado State job because he's got a great offensive mind.
Well, he was the associate head coach for Coach Ned Ved, who's now taken the job at and moved on to his alma mater at Minnesota in the Big Ten. But your guy, are you going to get some Colorado State gear now, Scott?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just happy that
you need to take a picture and send everybody a of your shrine
of the basketball that I have for him
and
in my
Sports
house.
Illustrated I gave you.
It's in a glass case.
It is actually condition. We talked about this on the drive last night. Your Ali Farouk-Manesh, your collection.
Yes, I have a basketball signed.
Yeah, by the man.
And then I have a Sports Illustrated, courtesy of you, Sports Illustrated magazine there inside the shrine.
Condition.
It's inside the shrine.
Unbelievable.
Ali Farouk-Manesh.
I was about to drop it in trash, and then I looked at it again. I was like, you know what? This is in mint condition. Not even knowing you had an assigned autographed basketball. I know you're a Northern Iowa grad, and it's like one of the greatest moments in Northern Iowa history. And I ended up going to that.
I ended up going to the Sweet 16. I went to the Sweet 16. And you know who they played that year in that game? They played Michigan State and Tom Izzo in St. Louis for that game. Tennessee was the first game.
Mm-hmm.
So
we went with your dad. I remember you saying that.
We ended up going there. We sat in the suites, the suites there in St. Louis, and had a remarkable time. But they lost, though.
I know, but they got to the Sweet 16. I want to say
Tom Izzo, though, is just fantastic in March.
The dang thing was, by the time I gave it to you, was over a decade old, and it was still like just pristine. I'll never forget the look on your face when I gave it to you. Hey, Scott, I got something for you.
The Kansas Killer.
And then he's like, oh my God, I've got a basketball signed by him. Yep. Let's see, but most people that are listening don't even know who the hell Ali Farouk-Manesh is, but unless you're a hoop head.
Nope.
But I remember pulling up, nobody under the basket. Nobody under the basket, Ali. He could have got, finished it. He was so hot that night or that day against Kansas. He could have driven in, laid it in. Dude was pulling up with nobody under the basket and did nothing but twine. Unbelievable.
Yep. Become more March Madness hero is what it is.
I remember the only thing I remember is he just ruined my bracket because I had Kansas winning it all and my bracket was done. I'll never forget the late great Wayne Gambrell turned to him and said, Wayne, my bracket's done. He starts laughing. He goes, why is it done? I said, Ali Farouk-Manesh. And he's like, you got to love March.
There was no one. It was crazy because there was nobody underneath the basket, and he just drains it. Just insane.
And then whoever the photographer was got an amazing headshot. How
about this?
Oh
my. Farouk-Manesh, a three. You can't be serious with that shot. Collins the other way. Tyrell Reed.
There we go. Of course, those two gentlemen still doing it today, and that was the great Kevin Harlan and Dan Bonner. You can't be serious with that shot. I know I was like, are you serious? He's shooting it with nobody under the basket.
There was no one under there was one Kansas guy. That was it. It was like, what are you?
When you talk trash on the court, you feel like you're so hot, you just shoot. It's like layup. That's basically what it was for Ali Farouk-Manesh.
All right, 7:18. Got to get a break in. Let's run down some of the other games and their expectations tonight in the Sweet 16. Major League Baseball is getting started today. We'll get you some of those projected win totals from around the baseball world. Where do the Braves sit? Where does the NL East look like? We'll figure all that out. And hey, football fans, if you don't like Gary Danielson, good news.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Still all clear this morning. I'm not seeing anything problem-wise. That can change quickly, so definitely be on your toes this morning. Right now, it's looking good. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic problems. Our ESPECT is coming. Shoals Scholar Dollars is bringing the celebration of the music of Aretha Franklin to UNA Monday. Tickets at shoalsscholardollars.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I'm here to tell you it's truck month. No payments for 90 days on 24 and 25 models of F-150, Ranger, Maverick, Super Duty, and Lightning. We've got over 220 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Great deals on Bronco, Bronco Sport, Expedition, and Explorer 2. Come check those out. But right now at Woody Anderson Ford, you can drive a 2024 F-150 XLT Hybrid for as little as $339 a month. $339 for an F-150. That's a 36-month lease with 6448 due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 3/31/25. Call us at 539-9441 for complete details. Over 220 F-150s and nearly 50 Rangers and Maverick pickups to choose from, all with great sales incentives and zero payments for 90 days. Woody Anderson Ford, we hope to see you soon.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. March Madness is here, and it's time to hoop it up at Baumhauer's Victory Grill with our Slam Dunk specials. It's nothing but net with a pound of our world-famous wings. Tip it off with our party-ready trays, including traditional wings, buttermilk fried chicken tenders, and hot lips, to name a few. Want a cold beer with those wings? How about $7.99 pitchers of Yingling served all day, 7 days a week? Break out those brackets and bring the gang to the best watch party place in town, Baumhauer's Victory Grill, the true king of wings.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
McCabe with the tap in as the Ice Bears are now in the double digits in consecutive losses.
The Havoc Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. She's a warm-hearted person who loved me to the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. She's a one-boy about my best friend.
Oh, anyway, you know what's the best friend right now of college athletics?
What? NIL?
Money.
Well, it is.
Money.
I mean, they're pretty much charging for everything. I was going over the Alabama released their information on A-Day yesterday.
Yes.
And, yeah, I figured that's where you were going.
So here is so we've talked a lot about college programs altering their spring games, saying, hey, look, here's what we're going to do. We mentioned Auburn yesterday doing an hour practice for free in front of the fans inside Jordan Hare Stadium on April 12th. That is going to be their A-Day. Alabama yesterday saying, okay, we're going to release our plans. Because remember, Kalen DeBoer said, we're going to do something, just don't know what we're going to do. Well, now we know what Alabama is going to do. They are going to practice for free. It is for free in front of the fans for an hour and a half. But here is where you can increase your experience. This is kind of like going to an amusement park or whatever. You can do a lot more things for a lot more money. And it's all open for, I guess, everybody, or you got to be part of Yay Alabama. I don't know. But here is what you can do. You can be a kickoff captain for $500. You can deliver the game ball for $500. You can be a Champions Club member for $100. You can get a field suite for $60.
Yeah.
You can get a front row spot on the Walk of Champions for $50. You can sit in the north and south end zone clubs for $50. Personalized video board message, $50. Premium parking, $35. You want a locker room tour? At $30. So there you go. An hour and a half practice that is free, but you can do some upgrades.
Yeah, you can. So that's the world we live in right now. Hour and a half practice, just an open practice, kind of like, well, it's basically fan day in the spring is what it is. Because again,
right,
like you said, they're having the Yay Alabama autograph signing right after this practice, but you have to be registered with Yay Alabama, and you can bring one item to get signed by however many players and coaches you can run around and snag before the end. So.
And there's a Tide Pride breakfast at Coleman Coliseum before that. You've got the Walk of Champions ceremony at 10 a.m. Baseball at home in Mississippi State at 2 o'clock, and Oklahoma on the softball diamond at 2:30.
I already have my itinerary, man. You got to go to the practice, and then you got to haul ass and get over to the Sewell Thomas Stadium for Alabama and Mississippi State.
What about softball, though? Oklahoma's in town.
Yeah. It's going to be a hell of a series.
I mean, it's a big weekend. It's a big weekend, but
can't hit everything, man. But I'm going to try to hit up football and baseball and wish Coach Murphy and the ladies luck. And boy, they needed some luck last night. Speaking of that segue.
So, but is this though, we said about this, I mean, is this just all now paranoia about all this, or is this just purely the fact that now it's just a norm now in college football? I mean, this whole thing of not having the spring games anymore. I mean, now, at first it was, okay, it felt like paranoia because you had these coaches doing it. Lane Kiffin last year, remember, Lane Kiffin really started all of this.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is paranoia because this transfer portal opens right after.
Right.
I think if they only have one transfer portal in January, you might see some of the spring games come back. Maybe not made for TV. It might still be more of a game format. But again, I think but I also think due to the NIL and all the money involved with the players that and you already see Alabama and Auburn have both had lengthy injury reports coming into spring practice.
Yeah.
I think they may want to do a lot of their scrimmaging behind closed doors and then try to protect their players. And because of the investment, because if you don't have them in the fall, it doesn't do you any good. So I still think it could return to somewhat normal. Just maybe sans the TV. Maybe they don't want it being televised, so you can go back and watch it and then see the team also during the fall. And okay, we're targeting this player. We saw him in the spring on TV, and now he's going into the fall and he's going to have a breakout year. And then when the portal opens, we're going to try to poach him. But I still think a lot of the paranoia will go away if they only have one portal window. Right now, it's the portal windows. And especially with we're talking, you and I keep talking about the Power Four, but the smaller schools, especially the mid-majors,
right? Because
if you do have a really good player, and of course, those mid-majors, they don't have TV for their spring games at all. This is basically the made-for-TV ones are your powerhouses, but still somehow word and buzz gets out and people figure out, okay, you got a good player, blah, blah, blah. But I think with a lot of the spring games right now, as far as on the Power Four level, I do think there is some paranoia there. And if they would, if this calendar changes again and they take the transfer portal window away in the spring, then I think you might see some regular spring games return, and yet they probably won't want them televised.
Right.
That's probably done from this point in time.
I didn't realize, and I forget what coach had their spring football press conference the other day, and they mentioned this, the fact that, in college basketball, and I think in soccer and some of these other sports, these teams scrimmage against other teams.
Yeah.
Alabama came up here to play Memphis in basketball.
Yeah.
And look for some sort of fashion again this year inside the VBC for another scrimmage of some sort, whether it be Alabama or Auburn or somebody else. Look for that to return. But football doesn't have that. Football's the biggest sport in college athletics right now.
Yeah.
But they are the one sport that doesn't have the ability, or the NCAA won't let them have the ability to scrimmage somebody else.
Well, I think it was Dion that was talking about it. He said he wanted it to be like an NFL OTA kind of joint practice thing, and it may be going to that. Hugh Freeze mentioned it yesterday when he talked to the media about potentially doing a June type OTA thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to change, and especially if there's no transfer portal in the spring anymore. You may eventually play another team to create excitement. And I don't know if they would let the TV cameras in for some of those. Maybe they would. But if there's no portal window, then hell, they can't leave. So then that may be where the next change comes into play, or the next way we see it evolve.
Right.
We may close the portal window, go back to spring games, but being able to play another opponent, it doesn't count. It'll still, whoever loses will still have a meltdown. Because we've lost a spring game. I cursed Will Reichert one year because I said he was automatic. It was the year before they won the national championship. It was Alabama's last national title. I know, a whopping near 5 years ago that they won their last national championship. Now, Dennis Doofus and all these other national media people act like that's just a disaster, that Alabama hadn't won one in 5 whole years, unlike Notre Dame, where it's nearly 40. But anyway.
Well, look, there's some Alabama fans out there that do feel the same way.
But again, Will Reichert had been perfect. He didn't miss a kick, didn't miss an extra point. And I said, he's the best kicker in America. He's automatic. He goes out in the 8 game, misses 3 field goals, and you would have thought it was just catastrophic.
Put him in the portal.
Well,
there was no portal at the time.
They just thought he'd lost it. Well, he's lost it. Are they going to have to go get a kicker? Is there going to be a competition? I'm like, it's the 8 game, folks. Calm down. I don't know how many times I get messages after the 8 Well, they can't block. They can't tackle. They don't have a quarterback. The running backs look like they stink. It's like,
half of the time your offensive line is a work in progress because you're shuffling guys around. You're trying to experiment. You're seeing who works, who doesn't work.
So to me, I'll be honest with you. I'm in the camp of I don't really care if the spring games go away. If it's just practices, let it be a practice.
Right.
I really don't. The only thing that counts is the fall. So
because we attach the word game to it, we start to think of it as something different. If we would have been calling these a spring practice to the public, lots of times people don't react.
But
the
I do
same
think
way.
if you want to juice it up again and make people excited, maybe you do scrimmage somebody else and see how they react. And you see both your offense not playing against each other and panicking, playing against somebody else and panic. So, I mean,
Alabama and Clemson. Dabo brings his Clemson Tigers to Bryant-Denny Stadium. We scrimmage, and money goes to charity.
But here's the thing, though. It would almost have to not be a major school, because I'm just saying a lot of these coaches would not want to take their team on the road to practice against somebody. In other words, look, where's my money coming from? Like, you can't charge because, it's not on your campus.
Right.
So it's almost like you got to throw a lifeline to, I don't know, Jack State, UNA, somebody, hey, come scrimmage us. And, it won't be on your campus, but it'll be a short bus ride. I think
would
it
that
would.
draw if North Alabama traveled down to Bryant-Denny Stadium and you said, okay, here's your spring game.
But again, you just called it a game, Scott. That's where that would be the hook, where everybody'd be like, game.
Game. Yes, because of the word game, not practice, not scrimmage, but game.
Yeah, and then UNA coaches would be excited because you're scrimmaging against SEC competition, and you could kind of iron could sharpen iron here. You could get your players a look at a major competition and see how they react. Now, some of them could be paranoid and say, well, if I have a really good player that I happen to steal, then they'd see him. But if the portal's closed, then you don't have to worry about losing said player.
Right.
So the whole thing, the whole key to the drill is going to be the future of the portal.
All right, we got to get that break in. You did mention Alabama softball. We'll talk about that. They were in North Alabama literally last night.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. Plus, Gary Danielson makes news yesterday. We'll fill you in there. All kinds of stuff. Plus, we've really got to start looking ahead to tonight's Sweet 16 other matchups. Talking ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Thursday across North Alabama, southern, middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 70s. Only dropping into the mid 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning under a mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. And we're going to maintain that cloudy sky as we head into your Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 70s. A couple of folks looking at the upper 70s, dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight. A couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible Saturday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a dump truck that spilled a load of gravel on the road, 231 northbound near Parks Chapel Road. That's going to be in the Lacey area. We got state troopers on the way. I'm not sure how much of the road is blocked there. Everything else seems to be in order this morning. You be careful on your ride in. Expert heart care backed by advanced technology. When you need cardiac care, you need the heart doctor. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey, do you have heating and air issues as the springtime starts to roll around? Hey, there's just one name you need to know. Talent Heating and Air. #1 heating and air business right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, we're locally based. If you call, you're going to get somebody based in Huntsville. I mentioned in spring earlier, we can actually do indoor air quality products, so we can help alleviate those allergy problems you're having in your house.
All right, Thomas from Talent Heating and Air, give them the number that when they call, somebody live and local will pick up.
That's 256-503-4490.
And you can always head to the World Wide Web and find Talent Heating and Air, and you guys will still
respond?
That's talenthvac.com. If you don't want to talk to a person right away, you can fill out a form on there and get scheduled for a visit.
That's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. It's Talent Heating and Air.
AL certain number 21014.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day. And when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deals store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I should go up sometimes, too, man.
Okay, almost everything.
Come up, I'll tell you a fortune.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN, The Zone.
Ooh. Full 80s right there.
No question about that.
There we go. That.
Anytime you hear a synthesizer, it's the 80s.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you can do this. You can do everything on the little board. You can do the drums, the synthesizer. You can have it all.
I think that's Madonna. I think.
Was that Madonna?
I think.
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
Oh, there we go. Brian Richard slapped me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would slap you.
Oh, well.
You can't. How did we confuse Stevie Nicks and
Sorry.
Madonna?
I did for like a note or two.
Didn't get a lot of the audio part of it, but
that's a soloist though.
Yep. All right. We mentioned Alabama softball. They were in town last night. I say in town. They were in Florence, taking on North Alabama. They had upwards of 5,000 people in attendance for that game last night. North Alabama rolling out the welcome mat, and it was for 6 2/3 of a game, 6 2/3 of an inning. This was all North Alabama in this one. The Lions nearly, and I say nearly, pull out their first ever win over Alabama on the softball diamond. Patrick Murphy, though, sets history in that one, gets his 13th 100th win as head coach. I don't know why that is so hard to say.
Say that 3 times fast. His 1,300th win.
1,300th win. It's still hard for me to say. As Crimson Tide, as the head coach of Alabama last night.
We've been talking about Northern Iowa folk. That's another one.
Yep.
So 1,300 wins at the university for Patrick Murphy. You had it pegged right there. They were an out away. Doing a great job by UNA. It was 2-0. A couple errors in the inning and then some big hits by Lauren Johnson. The university just put out some highlights. Hawkins got a big hit, and so they were able to piece together 4 runs. Did the University of Alabama, and they were able to score 4 in the top of the 7th, and then Jocelyn Brisky came on to slam the door and get Alabama a 4-2 win. But a great effort by UNA, a good comeback by Alabama. Certainly no rest for the weary for the Crimson Tide ladies. The SEC is the toughest softball league in the country, and quite frankly, offense has not been their issue this year, but it was yesterday for much of the game. They were loading the bases. They got a lot of hits. They just couldn't get a big hit until the 7th inning, but they were able to pull it out. Like you said, 5,000 people. So kudos to the
great
Florence
night.
community for turning out and supporting both programs. But a good win for Alabama. And now the SEC slate continues.
I know there's a lot of college football fans that tuned in to CBS over the years, and I don't know if they flipped the switch to listen to CBS on the Big Ten. Just felt odd this past season having CBS on the Big Ten.
And using the SEC music, which is what I call it. But, I mean,
No, it is. Yeah. But Gary Danielson, the longtime color guy for CBS Sports, we got used to seeing him for years at SEC Media Days, sitting down at the table. He would talk to whoever, whenever.
Yeah. Didn't like headphones. Did not like headphones, Gary.
No.
He did not.
No, but he is going to retire after the 2025 college football season. Charles Davis is going to take his place inside the booth.
And Charles is good.
Yeah, but he worked with Vern Lundquist, the other most polarizing figure among SEC fans as far as college football goes. Loved a love-hate relationship with Vern Lundquist and a love-hate relationship with Gary Danielson. No doubt about that.
Well, Vern's a lovable guy. Just the Orlando McCain stuff. But still, he was a great guy. Very positive.
Vern is great. Vern is great. I love Vern on the Masters.
Oh yeah, of course. And then Vern, he always had some great one-liners. Like when Alabama was in one of the glory, probably the biggest win of the Mike Shula era, when he just beat the piss out of Urban Meyer in his first big SEC game. When back in the day we had newspapers and Urban said, we have an infallible plan. If we execute our plan, there's no way we lose. And he lost, and he lost big because they had embarrassed Kentucky the week before. And as Vern quipped after Alabama had scored yet again on the Gators, there's one thing we know: this ain't Kentucky. I'm sure Jeff that's probably one of the comments that grinds his gears, but that's what he said at that point.
Right.
And unfortunately, it was the last game we ever saw Tyrone Prothro, who was
that's right. That was the leg injury.
Yeah. And like Urban said after the game, Prothro was on another level. We couldn't handle him. And Alabama dominated that game. And Herb had a good 5-year run in Gainesville, but his low point of year one was getting thrashed by the University of Alabama.
And Mike Shula.
Yeah, and getting welcomed to the SEC. Big boy ball. This ain't Utah. I guess in that.
But I think it worked out well.
Was the Utah the Big West Conference back then?
Yeah, but it worked out well for Urban at Florida, though. He had success at Florida.
Oh, he won 2 national championships.
He had success.
Now he left a prison ward, but yes, that Will Muschamp had to.
He had a C block, is what you're saying.
Whatever you want to call it. Just watch the Aaron Hernandez story.
Man, I tell you what, that Aaron Hernandez story, though.
Yeah, wow.
I mean,
you're talking about a dude that was supremely talented but supremely disturbed.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. I mean,
and his roommate in college at Florida, Cam Newton.
Oh, there's a lot you could.
I heard there's a lot of things like laptops flying out windows, and it was like a pawn shop. Make of that what you will.
Oh my goodness. Documentaries are so fun to watch.
Well, this is before any kind of documentary. This is just talking to people that were covering
no,
that
I mean,
program at that
I
time.
think that was in the police. I think the Cam Newton situation.
Yeah.
I really believe that was in the report.
Yeah, and Cam never played at Florida except for as a backup. We all know he transferred to Blinn Junior College after being basically dismissed from the Florida program, and then totally restarted his career. We all know what happened.
Yeah.
But he was basically the backup to Tim Tebow.
All right.
In the day.
7:48, got to get a break in. Let's talk some college basketball. Sweet 16 on the horizon tonight, 6:09, because it's on television. That's why it's 6:09, because CBS has got to do 7 minutes of intro before they get you to the game.
Right.
That's why it's a 6:09 start. We'll preview some more of the other matchups coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a dump truck that spilled a load of gravel on 231 northbound in the Lacey area. This is going to be at Parks Chapel Road. State troopers are on the way for that one. I'm not sure how much blockage there is, but it's definitely going to be a problem for northbound. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Countdown to the 2025 Trash Panda season is on. Tickets are available for the full 2025 home schedule, including opening night on Friday, April 4th. But it doesn't end there. The Trash Panda season opens with 9 home games in 10 days, featuring theme nights, giveaways, fireworks, and more. This opening homestand has it all. For more information, check us out online at trashpandasbaseball.com.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Hey, do you have heating and air issues as the springtime starts to roll around? Hey, there's just one name you need to know. Talent Heating and Air. #1 heating and air business right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, we're locally based. If you call, you're going to get somebody based in Huntsville. Mentioned in spring earlier, we can actually do indoor air quality products, so we can help alleviate those allergy problems you're having in your house.
All right, Thomas from Talent Heating and Air, give them the number that when they call, somebody live and local will pick up.
That's 256-503-4490.
And you can always head to the World Wide Web and find Talent Heating and Air, and you guys will still respond.
That's talenthvac.com. If you don't want to talk to a person right away, you can fill out a form on there and get scheduled for a visit.
That's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. It's Talent Heating and Air.
AL certain number 21014.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Countdown to the 2025 Trash Panda season is on. Tickets are available for the full 2025 home schedule, including opening night on Friday, April 4th. But it doesn't end there. The Trash Panda season opens with 9 home games in 10 days, featuring theme nights, giveaways, fireworks, and more. This opening homestand has it all. For more information, check us out online at trashpandasbaseball.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
That screams beautiful springtime.
Yeah, I just got virtually smacked.
How did you get virtually smacked? How do you
with an emoji? I got virtually smacked because I blew the Stevie Nicks thing. I told you I'd get smacked.
My microphone's not wanting to stay up. Look, it's just.
Well, it looks like you're tangled or something, man. Or are you? I can't
No,
tell.
it's not. There it goes.
Oh, okay.
It's staying up now. I
was
had to
thinking about your earbuds there.
No, so you got virtually smacked. Who virtually smacked you?
I told you he was going to slap me. Be rich.
Did he really?
Because of the Stevie Nicks thing. He loves Stevie Nicks. He's seen her in concert, so I knew he would basically want to slap the hell out of me because I blew that one.
You're not going to get us back for turkey.
Well, I hope that's not the case. That was a damn good turkey we eviscerated in 45 minutes.
We talked a lot about money. So this past not preseason, but I guess during the non-conference portion of the basketball season, Alabama ventured out to Las Vegas. Remember, and they played in the Players Era Festival for the NIL and all that other stuff. It was a Las Vegas-based NIL event, paid millions to college basketball players, had 8 teams this past year.
It was largely successful. So
much so that they're going to do 18 teams next year.
Yeah.
I believe Auburn and I believe Alabama possibly are both back this next year as far as I think Auburn will be a part of it, but they are going to be part of the 18 team. And then in 2026, they're going to make this a 32-team tournament in 2026. If that happens, Maui Invitational, all these other ones, they're not going to exist, or they're going to have to reinvent themselves.
They'll still get teams. It's just they'll, and again, you got to understand, probably, I would think there may be a caveat here where I don't know I know Alabama and Auburn are going to be 2 years in a row, but where they rotate teams, because again, you're talking about 32, but there's 360 plus Division I. I couldn't rattle off the top of my head how many Power Fours. I guess it's about 100 and some odd. But I mean, you can't have them all in the event. So there'll still be people wanting to go to Maui, and again, I would think there's still going to be some kind of underlying financial reward for going there. It won't probably be as much as the $1 million you're getting of NIL money in this event, because Alabama, as we know, they did a nice job, winning 2 games. They lost to Oregon, and I'll never forget listening to LeBaron Fallon and some of the guys on the bench. Come on, man, we got to go undefeated so we can get that cheese. They're trying to get the biggest payout.
Now he's going to slap you in voice to voice. He virtually slapped you. Now he's going to do it in person. B. Rich is with us.
What's up, B. Rich?
Good morning, fellas. Hey, kudos to the bumper music there. That was fantastic. I
Johnny Boy got that
Stevie
one.
Nicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Stevie Nicks, love Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
That's classic music. And Scott, do not worry. You guys have an open invitation to my house. Anytime you want to come by. I mean, I'm fully planning on Turkey 2.0 this year. So we go ahead and make that happen. But you just let me know anytime you want something cooked. Scott, you guys have an open invitation. Just let me know.
Look at that.
You're opening up Pandora's box. God will be coming up with all kinds of ideas now.
You cook Pandora.
Oh, Lord, here we go. I didn't even think about that. You should have a good one, B. Rich. I mean,
thanks.
Now I will say this: I don't think he could. He's a barbecue aficionado,
Right.
Scott. So he's
Right.
a competition
Well,
barbecue
look,
guy. He fried turkeys.
He fried that turkey for us,
Right.
but his family woke up that morning. We didn't even say this. They wanted sausage and biscuits.
And he made them. He was making biscuits.
So he smoked the sausage that morning right after he did the turkey for us.
He just slapped me.
That sounded bad.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Auburn Tigers playing today in the Sweet 16 at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey against BYU. The Crimson Tide laying 5.5 points, a total 175.5. The winner will get either Duke or Arizona in the East Region Final. Duke, the 9.5-point favorite over the Wildcats. Auburn Tigers meet the Michigan Wolverines at State Farm Arena in Atlanta in the South Region semifinal tomorrow. The Tigers 9.5-point favorites, 153.5 to total. Michigan State a 3.5-point favorite over Ole Miss in the other regional semifinal. Braves at Chris Sale on the mound, $1.30 favorite today at San Diego. For more, go to vsin.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Yep. Sportsman Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. They're helping us kick off hour number 2. It's hour number 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond holding court with you for another hour. We've got 60 more minutes of fun on the clock, and we're counting it down. We talked a lot about college basketball. We slipped in some college football in the conversation as well, but we also want to blend college basketball and local college basketball in one talk. This past season, and it's hard to, when I say this, it still blows my mind because of all the success that they had this year. Tommy Murr was the only UAH Charger to win Gulf South Conference Player of the Week honors.
Now, we've had this debate, about what lunacy that is, and about the big man, as we know, not being first team all conference. Even though he was leading the nation in field goal percentage. So,
yeah, crazy. But
Daniel Saylor, that being that,
yes. Tommy Murr, though, no disrespect, he put on one heck of a senior season.
Yeah.
Finished with, and he's a Division II basketball All-American, Gulf South Conference Player of the Year, everything. But his basketball journey is not done.
No.
He is going to play again tomorrow in an all-star game.
Mm-hmm.
So
well-deserved.
Yes.
He and his teammate Blake Campbell, who, though he had many 30-point games, never was Gulf South Conference Player of the Week either.
Yes.
Yeah, but they
I
were.
still can't fathom that. But
it's like Batman and Robin. That's what they were, or
Yes.
Superman and Batman, however you want to equate it. But the last time we had Tommy Murr on the show was a couple years ago when he was matriculating his way back home after 2 years under our great friend Lenny Acuff. He came home to finish his career in North Alabama at UAH, and certainly it was a great decision for him. It was awesome for us to be able to watch him develop here into an All-American and into the Gulf South Conference Player of the Year. He's still the all-time leading scorer in AHSAA history with over 5,000 points, only one of 4 people to ever do that. But he's had an amazing career, and now, as you said, this All-Star game coming up this weekend that Tommy's going to be playing in, and we've got him now here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline to talk about one of the greatest years in Charger history, 32-2, Tommy Murr and his teammates. Tommy's with us now. Tommy, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you.
Thanks for waking up with us. Thanks for waking up with us. I realize that it.
I mean, hey.
Big sacrifice.
Well, hey, I know it seems like just a couple weeks ago we had you on, but 2 years go fast. A career goes quickly. I remember to go watching you play at Lindsay Lane, and Lenny Acuff was in the stands, super excited about you. I know you haven't had a lot of time to reflect because you guys have been grinding, but man, that 4 to 5 year career goes by quickly.
Man, it sure does. I was just telling Luke Burnett and Blake the other day, it really feels like you can pick out moments, but it's kind of like the years have just meshed together, you know? And that's how life is, right? But especially basketball, you play so many games, and there's highs and lows, and you just think back and remember moments, but it's like, man, where did the time go? So, it's wild. I remember talking to you guys after I transferred here, and even before that when I committed to Lipscomb. So
right.
It's been a wild journey, but it worked out well.
Yeah, and then this year, I mean, you mentioned a journey. There is no way. It's hard to describe this journey, this season's journey. I mean, you could almost write a book on it, on all the twists and turns and everything, but the win streaks and everything that this team accomplished this year, it is kind of hard to even put it all into a few words to describe this past season.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. And I was telling Sam Moore a couple of days ago, a former All-American here, he was just saying how proud that they were of us and what we did and how we handled ourselves. And I just said, like, all the great teams and players that have come before us, the coaches, like, we just wanted to honor them, you know, and to do something special of our own and pave our own way. So that turned out being pretty special, and we'll always remember it. But like you said, just so many little moments that you appreciate, and I'll look back fondly over for many years.
Well, and Tommy, I know you're going to be playing with your current and former now teammate, I guess you could say, since your careers are concluded with UAH, Blake Campbell. But it's so funny how kind of fate intervenes. Mick Hedgepeth is hired to replace John Schulman, who brought you to UAH, and then he brings Blake Campbell with him. And I mean, I that's the way I coined it. It was like a glove. You guys had a starting position open. He fit in perfectly, and it was like just poetry in motion for you guys. It kind of was the missing piece, and what a season you ended up having, starting with that game against Nova at Montevallo, which you easily could have won. But what a fit Blake was with you guys.
Yeah, and I remember talking to Coach before the year, and we had him playing pickup that next week, and it became evident, that on and off the floor, he was just going to, like you said, fit like a glove. And he's a genuine, selfless guy. He cares about his teammates. And, I just think off the floor, he really cares. And then on the floor, you guys saw it, like he just put us on his back sometimes, and he wasn't going to let us lose. He's a winner. It just worked out so well. And who could have predicted it, right? But I'm sure glad it worked out the way it did.
Yeah. Let's talk about this next game for you, and that is tomorrow night in Evansville, Indiana. You and Blake will be part of the NABC Division II College All-Star Game. You and Blake will both be on the East squad. Matt Healing from Pace is the head coach of that. On the West side, Ferris State's head coach. He'll represent the West side. But just talk about getting a chance to play in this game. And I mean, how did they even fill this roster Wow, do you know?
I genuinely have no idea.
Got a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we're excited to play. Obviously, hopefully Blake's touched the ball since we finished, but no, it'll be good to play again for sure.
Well, the question is though, so you're worried about Blake not touching the ball. Have you touched the basketball since then?
Yeah, I got back in there starting Monday, so I feel decent about it.
Okay.
Well, and now, I mean, we've seen a lot of guys from this program have professional opportunities. There's even been, as we know, with Josh Majette, an NBA player, there's been several play overseas. What are your immediate plans? I know, of course, you're finishing up your education at UAH, but do you hope to get a professional opportunity, or what is the next step in your life, Tommy?
Yeah, so I've been meeting with different agencies all week, and I'll probably choose one next week or so, and then begin that process. I think, being married and she being fully on board and supportive, I think it's a unique opportunity I would regret not pursuing, even if it's just for a few years or just a year. So that's the plan right now. And I've been talking to, like you said, Majette and all those guys, and Seth Suave and Sam Orff, to just get their insight and trying to learn as much as I can right now. But that's the direction I'll be going.
How did you see your game kind of grow over the year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously last year, and I can't say enough about Showman just giving me my confidence back and reminding me what I'm capable of. And then Coach Hedgepeth just really unlocked something in me as a floor general and a playmaker and a passer, my ability to create for others. And that, I think we all got better over the year as a team too. But for me this year, it just changed having the ball in my hands and kind of starting and running an offense and distributing the ball more so than in years past.
Yeah, I mean, no question. I mean, there was such a special chemistry between you guys in the rotation that you had at UH, especially the starters, and then to watch the way with the way, as you said, Coach Hedgepeth, he unlocked your game, but he also allowed Daniel Saylor to blossom into as good a big man as there is in the Division II ranks. Yeah,
Danny made such a huge jump, and Coach Hedgepeth, obviously being a Hall of Famer at Belmont and having a pro career, extremely knowledgeable and skilled, experienced, and that really showed through all the time. I mean, every single day during practice, they worked together, and it really showed. Danny grew so much, and I know he's going to go play overseas too. So really cool story for him as well.
Do you have any, I mean, I don't know how you look at this All-Star game tomorrow. Do you have any expectations for it? Do you have any kind of things, okay, maybe I need to check this off? Or is this one of those ones now where it's not a season game? You're not wearing, I mean, you are wearing the Charger uniform because you're playing again, but it's kind of like you can treat this one a little bit differently and just kind of enjoy the moment.
Yeah, and I don't want to treat it like the NBA All-Star game where guys are just walking around.
Lord. Yeah, this is a great soundbite. We got to use this as a stinger now, Johnny boy.
Hopefully, it's a little more competitive for sure. But
right,
yeah,
we hate the NBA on this show.
Yeah, well, I'm on board with that All-Star take. It's just not enjoyable, and it shows with the views going way down. But hopefully it's a little more competitive, and but just trying to enjoy it and have fun. I'm not gonna be as nervous for this one as I was our last couple for sure. But just looking forward to playing again.
I think I think anytime you get honored like that and get a chance to, you're representing UAH, but you're also an All-American, and these are the best of the best in Division II that were chosen to do this. This is an honor. Anytime you're chosen as an All-American, you were GSC Player of the Year, and anytime you get a chance to represent your community and go to an All-Star game like this and be a part of things in Evansville, which is the cream of the crop in Division II, it's an awesome deal.
Yeah, absolutely, and I understand, what comes with putting on that jersey. So Blake and I both obviously play to honor that, and all the guys and coaches, like I said, that have come before, and people like y'all that, I mean, put so much support in the program, and then fans that have been coming since long time. So we know it's a lot bigger than ourselves.
You mentioned nervousness. You got nervous? You did not look like you got nervous at all during the year.
Once the ball gets tipped up, it goes away. But yeah, for sure, I just think about it a lot. I get nervous for games. That's just kind of how I've always been.
Yeah.
I think it's because I care a lot and I want it to go well. But yeah, like I said, when the ball goes up, it all goes away immediately.
And of course, I mean, you're going to start your professional journey after this. You talked about meeting with agencies and hoping to play, and again, that'll be to be determined how long that opportunity lasts, and hopefully it's a very fruitful one, and you play several years. But do you know post basketball playing career what you want to do yet, Tommy?
Right now, I think I would really enjoy being an agent.
Neat.
And I know Joe Smith, who played here, is doing that, and he's done really well. So I plan on talking to him and learn as much as I can. But from what I've heard talking to these different agents, is it's just a way to be around the game without the constant stress of coaching. And even if things go well, you got to start like worrying about the next game. I think there's a lot of cool opportunities with it. So as of right now, I think that would be really cool. And who knows what will change before then. So that's where I'm at.
Well, that's cool. I mean, we're glad you're going to stay around the game. I mean, of course, your dad coached you, so I wondered if you had any interest in coaching. But coaching has changed a lot, especially on the college level because of the transfer portal and having to build rosters year to year and even re-recruit your players. It is a much more stressful. Even it was always stressful, but it's kind of taken on another layer now.
Yeah, I think I'll probably enjoy coaching high school, but like you said, with all the money floating around and the portal, it's kind of a little out of control. I think y'all can recognize. So there's a lot more that goes into it than what it used to be, for sure.
Well, I tell you what, have fun tomorrow night in Evansville. Safe travels up there, and you and Blake. One more time together, at least. I mean, I know you guys only played together for 1 year, but still, like Drew said, it's like a glove. But one more time together to have a little bit of fun and enjoy the game.
And to make it up to Blake, maybe y'all can be co-players of the game.
Yeah.
He deserves it. I'll just pass probably tomorrow.
No,
take all the shots.
We were laminating the fact, and we were having fun with it. And Steve and I had fun with it even all season long, was the fact that you were the only Charger to get Gulf South Conference Player of the Week.
30 in a row.
You had to hog them all. I mean, you were the only one to get it.
What am I saying?
Yeah.
No, there were several times I come in and I'd be like, Blake didn't win, or Danny didn't win, or Luke didn't, like, he wasn't even in the running. Like, yeah, kind of crazy. I feel like they don't want to give it to the same team over and over.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I don't know. They definitely deserved several.
Well, I'm going to stand on my soapbox here. You guys won 32 in a row. Why is Saylor not in this All-Star game?
Yeah, I have no idea.
There you go.
He probably had to build a rocket or something.
Oh yeah, well, we know he's a genius, man. Come on. I mean, he could build this studio.
He would have turned it down.
Turned it down.
He got other things to do, man.
Yeah.
Building rockets.
Yeah.
Well, safe travels to you and Blake, and congratulations on your career. Congratulations on what you guys did this year, 32 in a row. One of the greatest teams we've ever seen in our city and at UAH. But and we thank you for coming back and playing here and representing our community so well. But you and Blake Campbell did an amazing job. The whole team, Saylor, everybody. But it's a way for us to pay homage to y'all. And again, we congratulate you for the year you had, and we appreciate you taking the time once again to kind of put a wrap on what's been an amazing journey for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks. Tommy Murr, kind enough to wake up with us this morning ahead of him traveling to Evansville for an All-Star game.
In a way, though, that would also be kind of melancholy, too, because dang it, we should be playing in it, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be I didn't want to ask him that because that's the hardest part.
Because you're playing in the All-Star game on Friday. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the national championship game is Saturday.
Yes. You're playing where you thought you would be playing, where you hoped you would be playing.
Right.
You're just not playing in the game that you really wanted
I
to be
haven't
playing
followed
in.
Who's won what? I know Steve told me that Assumption, what's your function, was playing, Nova Southeastern. Just a play on words there with the Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh yeah. That's a good show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Semifinals, they're down to the final four. So Nova and Washburn will play each other, and that's the So that's what is today, the 27th. Tonight at 8:30. Nova is playing Washburn, 1 versus 4. Yeah, Nova got a win the other night, 102-93 against Assumption. So
Assumption was pretty good.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Tommy Murr, credit to him waking up with us. We appreciate it.
Yep, very much.
Let's get a break in. More Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Still looking at a clean slate this morning accident-wise. We did have a load of gravel spilled on the roadway, 231 northbound at Parks Chapel. That's in the Lacey area. That's really been our only reported problem this morning. The 41st Annual Bloomin' Festival, Art, Crafts, Music, and Food Festival is coming up April 5th and 6th at St. Bernard in Coleman, a Southeast top tourist event with over 150 artists and craftsmen. Win a 25 Buick Encore at the Bloomin' Festival, St. Bernard in Coleman. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
We are your home for March Madness.
Proctor shot fake, step aside, 3 in the air again. Oh my goodness gracious. He knocked another one down. Tyrese Proctor cannot miss.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Junction.
Your
function. Hooking up work and freezes and clauses.
Come on, baby. Sing it. Sing it. Used to race home from school. Or the bus would drop me off and I'd race inside.
What's your function?
To watch Schoolhouse Rock when it was on. In the afternoons, because it would always come on like at 3:30 right after you got done with school, and it was like, oh, it was the greatest thing.
I always saw it on Saturdays, man. I remember seeing it on Saturdays with them. They used to have Saturday cartoons.
They used to have Saturday. Yeah, it'd be on Saturdays too.
Yeah.
When you would wake up on Saturday morning, You could wake up at 6:30 in the morning on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it would be cartoons on from 6:30 until about 10:30 or whatever.
Right.
Straight up cartoons. Every channel was cartoons. And it was some of the best stuff ever.
When you're a kid, when I was growing up, one of your favorite things was when the fall was coming around, just trying to figure out who all new cartoons is coming on and find out the lineup. So what channels, what was coming on where.
You could just get your bowl of cereal,
right,
and eat it right in front of the TV and just watch cartoons all day.
And then Schoolhouse Rock would be in part of the commercials.
There
you go.
Oh, it was great. Now you wake up and it's like there is no such thing. The kids don't understand.
They don't. I have to look
the
at
cartoons now.
I got to look at LaDum on the TV because he made a layup last night to win a game.
Not
Congratulations.
even a layup. It was a tip in.
Whatever. He's a pissant.
Sports Center's acting like it's the greatest shot ever made in the NBA.
Because they're so locked in with the NBA. And of course, it's a big part of ESPN. It's a bigger part than obviously Major League Baseball.
Well, that's Hey, look at you. Look at you. Feeding the beast. Major League Baseball starts in earnest today. You get 14 games on the diamond. As far as your National League East, here is your expected win totals according to Las Vegas for the NL East. The Atlanta Braves, 93.5 wins projected, followed by the Mets at 90.5. Despite spending $1 gabillion, they're there. Phillies, 90.5. Nationals, 70.5. And bringing up the rear, the Marlins, 63.5.
Yeah, the Marlins selling everybody off. I don't even know why they have Major League Baseball in the state of Florida, to be honest with you, because I don't think anybody cares. But I think it'd be Major League Baseball wouldn't skip a beat if they became if the Montreal Expos came back and either the Tampa Bay Rays, if they built a stadium and relocated over there, or even the Marlins.
Yeah,
I don't think the state. In other words, what I'm trying to say is spring training can be in Florida, but I don't think they give a rat's crap about regular season Major League Baseball.
And after today, the Chicago White Sox will be officially eliminated from playoff contention. Their expected win total today, or their expected win total for the season, the lowest in the majors. Remember, they had a horrendous.
What did they end up with last year? Because we kept up with that for a while. It was horrendous. They had more runs scored than wins.
Their expected win total is 54. That's their over/under.
Or I guess the biggest thing was it was for a while though. Their win total and their run scored total were about the same.
So they finished 41 and 121.
41 and 121.
Yeah.
Yowzas.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have the lowest projected win total of anybody this season, but it's not by far. The Colorado Rockies are only projected 59.5 wins this coming year on the diamond.
Man.
By the way, the Dodgers are the only team to, according to FanDuel, have 100 wins. They are projected at 105.5 is the win total.
Well, maybe
for the
our guy
Dodgers.
Jordan Beck will at least get up there with permanently with the Colorado Rockies and get a chance to play every day.
They project the Dodgers to win the West, Cubs to win the Central.
Oh, well.
I know. Braves in the East, Astros in the West, Twins in the Central, and the Yankees in the East.
Even with Garrett Cole going down, huh?
Yes, your favorite team of all.
The Yanks.
But that's a competitive division in the East. They have the Yankees at 88.5, Orioles at 86.5, Red Sox at 86.5, the Rays at 80.5, and then the Jays at 79.5. So that's a formidable division. Same way with the Central, with the exception of the White Sox.
Speaking of opening day, we got a Pirates fan waiting on the phone.
Is the Steeler Mike with us?
Yes.
Yep, Steeler Mike with us. All right, buddy. What's up?
I sent him a kick to Colby video the other day. That was good.
It was absolutely beautiful. The Rubber Man. Thank you for that, Drew.
Hey, your Pirates, by the way, 75.5 wins for the season.
And now the big question is, could Czar pronounce to Colby? Because I knew how to pronounce
He
it.
can't say Janai Broom. He can't even do Janai Broom.
No, John's just over there hiding his. He's like, no.
Well, hey, guys, exciting times today. The Pirates take on the always upstart Florida Marlins to open this thing up. And Skeen's on the bump this afternoon. And, not going to go up to Pittsburgh next weekend and see it. Won't be able to see him pitch. He's not going to pitch in Pittsburgh when I'm there. But looking forward to it. I would really appreciate if you guys, on your next come back in from break, play a little We Are Family for me.
There we go.
79.
Casey Stargell.
Yeah, Willie Stargell.
Willie Stargell.
Yeah.
I had Casey at bat on my mind.
Yeah.
Give me a score, Drew, for Alabama, BYU, and Tennessee, and Kentucky. I'll hang up, guys. Enjoy watching some ball the next couple of days.
Yeah, thank you, Steven Mike. And I got to tell you, by the way, that Skeens card that, where he was offered all that
kid
money.
made the right choice, did he not?
$1 million, I think.
$1 million over season tickets for,
That's what he got to invest $1 million, man.
What is he, 12 or 13?
Got a pack, and it was a 1-of-1.
Took the
they
gum
offered
and
him
ran.
all this stuff, and he sells it for $1 million. I mean, but no, I seriously, this as far as scores goes, I've already said 95-84 Alabama over BYU.
Right.
I like Tennessee to beat Kentucky this time. I think, Kentucky, to their credit, they took out Tennessee twice. I like the Vols on Friday, though. I think Tennessee will win this game, and I'm going to say 79-72. And it'll be a good basketball game, but I'm going to say the Vols and it's Kai Ziegler and Chaz Lanier find a way.
All right. As far as Braves go today, 3:10 first pitch, taking on the Padres out on the West Coast. Chris Sale getting the start for the Braves today. Michael King on the bump for the Padres.
Now, are we going to be carrying this game any of this at all before Alabama? Because Alabama comes on at 5:00 for pregame.
No.
6:10. I don't know.
Tune in to find out. Tune in to find out. That's how we're going to leave that.
Yeah.
Tune in to find out, because that's just the best way. Just drive around town, put the top down, turn it on, and if we got it on, enjoy it.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's get a break in. Vince Ferrara, he is gallibatting around the country following the Vols. He'll join us next.
I think he's on the road.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Thursday across North Alabama, southern, middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 70s, only dropping into the mid 50s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning under a mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. And we're going to maintain that cloudy sky as we head into your Friday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid 70s. A couple of folks looking at the upper 70s, dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight. A couple of scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible Saturday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the lower 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo will be at the Bond Bronze Center April 4th, 5th, and 6th in conjunction with the MLF Red Crest Championship on Lake Guntersville. The Outdoor Expo will be open from 11 to 6:30 daily, and the first 200 kids 14 and under on Saturday will receive a free Abu Garcia rod and reel, courtesy of WHNT News 19. There will be hourly giveaways, tackle and boat deals, seminars, and a chance to meet the pros. And it's free of charge. The Bass Pro Shops Red Crest Championship Outdoor Expo, April 4th through 6th at the BBC.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The only problem I've heard about this morning is a load of gravel spilled on the northbound side of 231, right about Parks Chapel Road. That's in the Lacey area. Everything else has looked really good. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal problems that have caused any major headaches. No hoses, no mask. Dr. Sandman has the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoon starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect.
Welcome back, Talking Ball 97.7.
Pops, Dave Parker.
Oh, it's a good song though all around. Just a great song all around. We
were good.
We are family. Coming up, I guess you could say the Vols family will be taken to the court tomorrow. They are not playing tonight. They are playing tomorrow, 6:39
Central, 7:39 Eastern
p.m. Second seed Kentucky, third seed Kentucky, second seed Tennessee.
Yeah.
Vols sitting at a 4.5-point favorite there in Lucas Oil Stadium. Tell you what, short drive from Lexington to Indianapolis, short drive for Vols fans from Knoxville to Indianapolis, playing inside that cavernous building, though, Lucas Oil Field, which I think because of basketball, the way they're doing it will seat probably around 35,000 if I had to imagine.
Yeah.
Because it seats 70 for full. They're blocking it off. I would say anywhere between 35 and 40,000 for this ball game.
No doubt. And our next guest is, I think, en route. If I don't know if he's arrived yet. I know he was traveling today, and he's one of our favorite people. He's part of the Sports Animal 99.1, and you can hear him each and every morning from 6 to 9 Eastern, 5 to 8 Central, with his good friend John Wilkerson as part of Sports Talk in the morning. And that is Vince Farrar, and he will have full coverage of the Tennessee Vols in this Sweet 16 matchup with Kentucky, a rematch, Chapter 3. You don't see this often, but we're going to talk some Vols with Vince Farrar right now. Vince, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing?
We're doing well.
Good.
Have you arrived yet? What's the situation now? Are you in Indianapolis?
I am in Indy. Arrived very late last night, and so I'm about to get en route to Lucas Oil. So haven't seen the layout and the breakdown. Just kind of heard about it a little bit, but there's interviews and then open practice and that kind of thing that's coming up here this morning.
Well, then you can walk over to the Slippery Noodle right after you're done.
We already got Bobby Champagne going to Slippery Noodle. Now we're trying to get Vince Ferrara.
You can walk over to the Slippery Noodle. It's within
walk.
Yep, 2 blocks away, and get yourself some lunch. It's well worth it.
Sounds good. Yeah, it'll be. I'll be after 2ish or so. But once they do all the interviews and avails and all that stuff. But good to know. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And what's the feeling around this? We had a Tennessee fan call in, Steeler Mike. He wanted a prediction. I said 79-72 Tennessee. I think they're going to get it done this time. What's the vibe and the feeling in Knoxville and around the program about this third chance against Kentucky?
I think generally confident, but I wouldn't say it's absolute. You know, just with the fan base, you're going to have some different opinions, some different levels of nerves. It's kind of like, well, would have wanted to see anyone other than a team that has their number. So with the 2 wins during the regular season, but I think a lot of people, and I put myself in that category too, that feel like, it's very unlikely that Kentucky is going to shoot 50% from 3 again. They were 12 of 24 from 3 in both of their first 2 meetings. So in Tennessee shot a combined 22% from 3, including the game where they jacked up 45 3-pointers. So the second game they had a lot fewer, but they didn't shoot a very good percentage. So the 3-point line is going to be a big part of this game. So I think fans feel like they can't beat a team 3 times. They're not going to shoot like that. We're not going to shoot that bad. We're better. Those are kind of the things that we hear from Vols fans leading into this one.
This is a style game, though, right? This is a will game. If Tennessee can get it to the style that they want, the defensive style that they want, then that favors Tennessee. But Vince, I think since Tennessee's entered this tournament, their defensive play has ratcheted up a little bit.
Yeah, I think Tennessee is playing better defense, I'd say, right now. I mean, certainly in the UCLA game, that was a big part of
tremendous.
Of them locking down UCLA. Look, they gave up some post points to the 7-3 center Mara, but I mean, they knew that was going to happen. But still, considering, I think they held their own, and they kind of tired him out a little bit because they'd get him in pick and roll situations. So, and then Tennessee's half court press really was a game changer. So I think they have the ability to dial up different things in helping them do what they need to do to get the job done within the game.
Well, I just thought they played at a very high level. It was a 67-58 game, but I never felt like it was that close. And then I thought Chaz Lanier was tremendous last weekend, Vince.
You guys can hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
No, I was just asking. I thought last weekend in the 2 games, I thought Chaz Lanier was really good, especially against UCLA.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he's been playing better as of late. He's been playing like Rick Barnes and this coaching staff wants him to play, and that's really.
Vince, got you, bud. I think Vince cut out there.
He cut out for a second, came back, and
we may have to try to get him back if we can.
Yeah,
because he is. The thing is, I'll tell you this: around Indianapolis, cell phone reception is kind of around there.
We spent a few days in Indy.
So
a few years ago.
But, I mean, he was talking about Rick Barnes and the expectations.
Yeah. And again, this is a big game for Rick Barnes. I mean, there's some that believe this is a golden opportunity for Tennessee to get Kentucky this time, and then to have a chance against. We think. I mean, look, Bobby Champagne said it yesterday. It's a de facto road game for Houston, but they're 13-0 on the road. We expect. I think it's going to be Houston and Tennessee. I think it's going to be chalk in that Midwest region. I think it's going to be 1-2 at Lucas Oil, and I think Tennessee has got a chance. We got Vince back. I think Tennessee's got a legit shot to get back to the Elite Eight like they did last year. But Vince, like we said, the Chaz Lanier's been playing like Rick Barnes wanted him to, and of course the engine, Zakai Ziegler's a huge part of it as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And because Chaz Lanier is doing better job of getting open, really, coming off of those screens with authority. The bigs are screening for him even better and crisper. He's fighting through being held. Chaz Lanier, Rick Barnes has said that when you watch it courtside, you can really tell. Chaz Lanier probably gets held and grabbed as much as anybody in this league. I mean, his jersey is constantly out, and he's constantly tucking it in, and it's constantly still out. The officiating is so much more. You think officiating is bad on TV. Sit courtside and see how frustrating that thing is. Because what happens is that the officials, I think, all three of them are looking at the ball. So they're calling ticky-tack stuff on the ball, but then off the ball, they're not paying attention as much. So defenders realize it. So there's a lot of grabbing and clutching and holding and hugging and that kind of thing. So, but he's fighting through it now, whereas it frustrated him at the beginning of SEC play. And he's shooting from two. He's driving all the way to the basket. So he's really diversified his game, and that has helped everybody else as well, the offense as well. So, yeah, you mentioned Zakai Ziegler. He's a big part of this game because he was not able to penetrate and get in the lane against Kentucky in their first two meetings because they pack it in, and with their length and athleticism, they were shutting down those driving lanes. And so Tennessee was baited into taking threes. Tennessee's got to find a way to still break down that defense and get into the paint and to the rim. And Ziegler is going to be a big part of that. Oh, also making some threes will loosen the defense up as well.
What does Tennessee, though, do defensively? You mentioned we don't feel like Kentucky's going to shoot the ball well from outside. Lots of times, too, when you're playing in these bigger arenas, it can affect your shooting percentage. But what does Tennessee do defensively, Vince, that we may not have seen in game one and game two of this series that can maybe alter Kentucky's outside looks?
Well, Tennessee is one of the better, as you guys know, one of the better three-point defensive teams in the country. And for them to give up 12 threes in each meeting, I mean, that you're not going to beat Kentucky if you give up 12 threes. So there's going to be emphasis on really extending that defense. They're going to have to help. I wonder if maybe they at times won't switch as much and maybe keep Meshack on Brea so he doesn't get off because he's kind of their catalyst to their three-point makes. Jackson Robinson played in the first game, and he made, I think, 4 threes. He's obviously out for the year now. So the three-point line defense, that's going to be a big part of it. And just like we saw Meshack shut down Trey Johnson of Texas in the SEC tournament, you may see Jemai Meshack be tasked with staying on Brea and then not switching quite as much as they can do because of their lineup.
Yeah, and I think Jay Billis, I heard him on the drive yesterday on our evening show. He was talking about that sometimes that Tennessee doesn't switch as much, and that Kentucky kind of put them in a bind a little bit with the way they defended them. They attacked Tennessee defensively. So that's going to be one of the keys to the game, I would think.
Yeah, and then the physicality on defense too in the post. So they have to be more physical. They were physical against UCLA, and they have to be that way as well. So yeah, that's another big part of the game.
Well, and then finally, who's the key? I mean, we know how important Zakai and Chaz are. Is it Milicic? Is it a combination of him and Gainey? Because Gainey, especially down the stretch of the season and into the postseason, and Gainey was huge against Alabama. But who is kind of the guy that they're going to need an A-level performance against Kentucky to win? I know Milicic has been kind of a polarizing guy who's been up and down performance-wise.
Hey, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, no doubt.
We work out my settle to the.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. Maybe we know that Gainey and Zakai are going to have to play well, or excuse me, the Lanier and Zakai are going to have to play well. But I was talking about Gainey and Milicic. Is it a combination of those two, or one of those two that's going to have to really step up to get a win in the third opportunity against Kentucky?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think both of them. Milicic really is the X factor because. Yes. He can do so many things that they don't have another person that can do that. He can relieve some ball pressure, ball handling pressure. He's kind of a point forward with his length. They need his rebounding too. If he's not rebounding, then this team sometimes is even or out rebounded by opponents. So he is big. But Gainey does so much because they're really down to about a 7-person rotation at the moment. And so Gainey is their best driver, and he is not afraid of the moment. He has an attack mentality. He's improved as a defender. So what I was talking about with Ziegler and in making sure you put your head down and get into the lane and not be spooked by Kentucky's length and trying to bait you into 3-point shots. He's going to have that mentality to still drive, and then also. He's got the ability to make threes to also help kind of pull Kentucky out of that defense and back in the lane.
Well, Vince, all in all, how do you see this one playing out?
I would give Tennessee the edge. Certainly I could see it going either way. It's two really good teams. Kentucky, I think, is a little bit better right now. They got the freshman Chandler who is come into the lineup and started making threes for them as well to give them another threat. You got Butler back now. He's not 100% healthy, but he wasn't there for the one of the meetings. I think it was the second one or the first one for Kentucky. So, but I think Tennessee is better also. I had it originally in the bracket. I think it'll be close, but I would give Tennessee the edge.
Well, and then we're looking forward to that, and potentially could be a matchup with Houston, even though I think Purdue, I guess they're anticipated to dominate the crowd tomorrow.
Yeah. I think from everything I'm hearing, Purdue, since it's so close, Purdue and then Kentucky. I mean, secondary market tickets are it's on the floor. A buddy of mine was looking at it that does a betting podcast, and there's some of the most expensive secondary market seats on the floor. We're going for over $3,000. Now that's only a couple. It drops down and a lot less than that, but that's still a lot of money. I mean, even the cheapest ones, you're from farthest away, you're talking about hundreds of dollars for the worst seats in the secondary market. So that's because of Purdue. That's because of Kentucky. Tennessee fans will be there, but man, probably still going to be third in terms of the number of fans, even as great as Vols fans travel.
Well, we know you've traveled, and thank you for taking the time to join us at a busy time. You're going to have a lot of media coverage today from Indianapolis. Let everybody know how to follow it as the Vols are part of that chalk going to Indy.
Yeah, you can give me a follow on the socials at Vince Sports on X, on Instagram, and on Facebook as well. And then our website at 991thesportsanimal.com has podcasts for there as well, the show, and much more.
Thank you, Vince. We appreciate it. Thank you for hanging.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Final break now.
Yeah, it's spot.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The only problem I've heard about this morning is a load of gravel spilled on the northbound side of 231, right about Parks Chapel Road. That's in the Lacey area. Everything else has looked really good. No wrecks, no stalls, no traffic signal problems that have caused any major headaches. No hoses, no mask. Dr. Sandman has the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain. Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball, the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, so your Sweet 16 matchups for tonight. We mentioned 6:09 is going to give you the Alabama-BYU game. 6:39, you get top seed Florida and Maryland. Florida is a 6.5-point favorite there. And then at 8:39, Duke and Arizona. Duke a 9.5-point favorite, followed by Texas Tech and Arkansas, where Texas Tech is now a 5.5-point favorite over Calipari and the Hogs.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see if the Hogs can keep that Cinderella run going, because they're one of the closest things to a Cinderella you can have, even though they got all that talent. They got the short bench, the short rotation. Can they make the Elite Eight after that 0-5 start in the SEC, where it looked like they were dead in the water? Can they take out Grant McCaslin and Texas Tech? And potentially, could we have an all-SEC regional final with the Florida Gators and the Arkansas Razorbacks? How crazy would that be? I certainly hope it happens.
That would just piss off a lot of people.
I'm hoping for an SEC night tonight. Alabama, Arkansas. Hopefully they can get wins. Florida, and then the Duke Blue Devils. Keep my bracket alive here. See, well, of course, I didn't have Arkansas. That's already blown to hell.
Right. Well, if Ole Miss tomorrow night can find a way to get by Michigan State, and SEC could really dominate this thing. All right, we'll get a 24-hour recess in. Back at it tomorrow morning.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that.